Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Dogecoin's potential breakout. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. We were live on Labor Day, yes. We ended the holiday weekend on a very weak day following the World Liberty Finance token and its huge pullback after its ICO. And that just put this negative blanket over all of crypto, which also gave some good entry points if you were looking to buy in. Yes, there were some good dips to be buying crypto. Could we see more dips? Possibly. Looks like on Tuesday morning, the market is looking a little weak as well, but the breakout potentials are there. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the news and the charts. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we started looking at the current Dogecoin chart at 21.1 cents. That's right, 21.1. But as we zoom out, we see that we had the pullback on Monday afternoon, and we came down to about 20.6, even touched 20.5. And there were some of you who were buying Dogecoin on that dip during the live stream. That's right. We were identifying that that was a good buying opportunity. We came below this sloping support line, so that was a good price point to buy. Bitcoin also was dipping at the same time, came down to 1075, now up at 1095 with some recovery there. And Ethereum also dipped down to 4205, just about on the dip there. But we are seeing a little bit of a pullback here, a little bit of weakness again here Tuesday morning. I'm recording this before the New York Stock Exchange opens up for trading on Tuesday morning, and we're seeing pre-market a little red in the stock market too. So we'll be watching that as we go forward. Overall, look, we zoom out and we like what the Bitcoin pattern right now has been, this downward channel. So Bitcoin is testing the channel resistance though, as it bounces along the top resistance line, supporting down. A break above could ignite massive momentum. That's what we would be looking for in Bitcoin. Now we also look at price drawdowns from all-time highs. So we look at how Bitcoin has traded in the past, and we see many times these blues are the drawdowns. And so a drawdown, when you get these, these big swings down, which happens, right? And these are leverage flushes, right? And we watch the long leverage getting flushed out every time you have those drawdowns. And this red line here is a 20% drawdown. So Bitcoin in its past has been very volatile. You lose 20% on these big drawdowns and everyone freaks out, right? So you get these big drawdowns. And then we had them again in 2025 as well. These big drawdowns, fear of tariffs, right? All of that we had earlier in the year. That was massive. Right now, the drawdown that we've had since the new Bitcoin all-time high is about 10-11%. It's not 20%. So we're nowhere near that kind of big drawdown that we have had just earlier this year and many times last year with all of that volatility that we had. So overall, that is not too bad. And typically then what happens, right? So with Bitcoin, a lot of comparisons to gold. When we see gold, showing a lot of strength, Bitcoin usually follows. Gold is hitting new all-time highs. Gold has broken out of this upward wedge and is hitting all-time highs. Bitcoin is kind of futzing around here, right? Hasn't really broken out of its big wedge. Gold showed the script, Bitcoin ready to act. So gold snapped its wedge, went ballistic. Bitcoin is loading. So that's kind of interesting, right? At that comparison to gold. Now, it doesn't mean Bitcoin's going to quite do that. And yeah, Merlin may have manipulated his wedge a little bit because it's on a different time frame, right? It's a little bit different of a time frame because this one goes all the way back to like 2012, 2013, and Merlin's only goes to like 2021, 2022. But the pattern, though, is kind of interesting. What does this mean for Doge? Well, Doge is in this falling wedge now. And so we've been watching this as Doge initially had the big run in July, right? We came up to 28 cents. Then we had the drawdown. Doge has bigger drawdowns than Bitcoin. Climbed back up in August, and now we've been in this falling wedge. We've been in these falling wedge patterns before, though. We saw that in May after Doge went on a big run and came up to like 18 cents, had a drawdown, and then later in May went on a run. Is that what this is setting up for, right? The calm before the pump, as Yakuza calls this. Is that what this is waiting for? These are very, very typical patterns we've seen many times before breakout. And these are the ones that get you down, right? That's what we were talking about yesterday, is the weakness and just getting beaten down. But these are the accumulation times, though, too, that you see happening. So Dogecoin, will a triangle pattern spark another massive rally? Dogecoin price prediction. Doge tests its key 21.1 support. I'll show you what that looks like. Whale selling meets the triangle pattern. Bears dominate. Breakout potential remains intact. So that's where the whole breakout potential thesis comes from, as we see Doge at this 200-day moving average support. So what does that look like? Well, let's go to the daily. And we see this blue line. This is the 200-day exponential moving average, and we are right there. We're right at it right now. And as I'm recording this, we're showing a little bit of weakness coming right below it. So that EMA and its meeting our upward supporting trend line here, which we did fall below yesterday, and those were the dips. People were buying. So it looks like we may be entering that category again now. So we're watching that as we're seeing bearish sentiment, and I get it. And we see people in the chat, right? Oh, 18 cents, 16 cents. They're just making up numbers. Some of them think they have, some relation to some past numbers, but we're at a different point now than we were earlier in 2025. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, what are you doing about it, though? If you're expecting, are you shorting the market, or are you going to buy in? You're waiting to buy in because Doge is going to go down to 16 cents and you're going to be able to buy a lot more Doge. Well, we have mixed signals right now. We have the relative strength index sitting at 46. That is almost right in the middle, neutral. So the MACD indicator displays a bearish crossover. So we're having a little bit of a bearish crossover on the MACD, but it's still relatively flat, though. It is flattening out. And the lines are all below the zero line. So the potential for the breakout is there. As Galaxy says, look, we've seen these wedges before in the 4-year cycles. When you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture on these wedges, you see these large wedges. You see the initial run and a pullback, an initial run and a pullback. And here we had the initial run last November, December, and the pullback. And we start grinding back up, right? You grind back up before the eventual big breakout of that pattern. And that looks like that is what is forming now for Doge. So Doge struggling, 200-day EMA, right? We've had selling pressure. It's early September. In the 4-year cycles, we would not expect September to be the big breakout. And we have big things coming for Dogecoin in October that we're going to continue talking about on this channel. There's a lot of excitement there. But in the short term, you're looking today and you're like, okay, I'm a bear. That's okay in the short term. But I'm just telling you, the potential for the breakout is there. Because we have, and part of this is, look, negative funding rates. Long to short ratio for Doge suggests bearish sentiment as short bets are rising among traders. No, it's not the short bets that are rising. It's the longs that are getting wiped out. That's what's happening. So you see the percentage going more short just because the longs are getting liquidated. That's what's happening. And we were watching this during the live stream yesterday, as hundreds of millions of dollars are just getting wiped out. And it's like, yeah, the shorts are winning because the longs are getting liquid, not that more people are shorting. So kind of interesting how that happens. So we will watch our 200-day EMA. We will watch, this consolidation period as it continues. The RSI again, 46 is close to 50. MACD flattening out, and where that setup looks like for this breakout. So make sure that you're subscribed. You got your notifications on. I'll be live again Tuesday afternoon. May start a little bit late on Tuesday afternoon. Got a number of things going on this afternoon, but again, make sure you're subscribed so you know when the live stream starts. Because we talk about this, we'll cover the update on the World Liberty Finance token and how Bitcoin, ETH will go trading. We'll look at another of other memes as well, and how their price points are, like Pepe, for instance, coming down from gaining a zero back, going down in the 9s, and yesterday was dipping in the low 9s. So great entry points for that. So we'll be covering those entry points in the next live stream. Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel again. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.